Britain's civil service purports to be politically impartial, right? Its professional code is bound up in the same way that the BBC is supposed to be as well. But I mean, Dacre's accusation there of the civil service leaking information during the process, right? A process that was unnecessarily dragged on for a year. I think what Dacre was saying there was really interesting in that if you dare possess an independent mind and hold views that aren't, common with the London-dwelling liberal left, well, he says you've got more chance of winning the lottery than you do in getting a public sector job. And I mean, that's pretty shocking to me, but it's not, it's hardly new, right? If you look at across to the BBC, their head of news, Dan, as you've documented on this show, Jess Brammer, right? She waxed lyrical when it came to criticisms of Brexit and the government on social media. And because she met the BBC's 3Bs test, right? She was anti-Britain, anti-Boris and anti-Brexit. So bit naturally a shoo-in. Then she was given a senior role in BBC News. You'll seldom ever see anybody who's made tweets that are pro the nation state, pro Boris, pro Brexit, any of those three get anywhere near the public sector, Dan. And that, to me, goes to the very, very heart of the problem. You've got to ask yourself one very fundamental question. How can it be that a man who, as you've just mentioned, Dan, was the front runner of the job in Paul Dacre, who has been in and around the media longer than I've been on this planet, I don't wish to make him feel old, but he reportedly had the backing of Tory ministers as well. He couldn't get anywhere near our Quango state because they don't like his views.
And it's particularly shocking, Darren, given that Dacre has been very clear he wasn't going into that job to try and dismantle the BBC, as the hysterical left-wing media were trying to suggest. And why is it acceptable that there are two former BBC executives on the board of Ofcom, for example? The double standard makes me sick. And do you know what? Boris Johnson should have stood up even harder to his to the blob on this, because the fact that we've lost Dacre as the potential chairman of Ofcom is a massive blow to the Conservative Party, to people who want the BBC saved, to sane thinking individuals everywhere across this country. It's a real disgrace.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. And it goes back to the conversation you were just having with Nigel Farage, which is fundamentally about what kind of leader Boris Johnson is. And the fact of the matter is, he's not a very brave one. He is not standing up for what could actually drive through real progress and change. Dacre's not some nutter. He's, wants to get a grip of things like online harms, for example. He was very much in sync with the government's agenda on this, and actually much of the opposition parties as well. And he couldn't get through. He couldn't get in. There is a block on actually ensuring that these sort of positions are filled by Conservative-minded people. Let's not forget, Dan, 14 million people in the last election voted Conservative. This isn't some fringe loon party, right? This is the party of majority government. And yet it cannot bring about meaningful change and reform to the civil service. That, to me, suggests that something's going really fundamentally wrong, and that Dominic Cummings was absolutely right.